Hello, my name is Seena and I'm going to Japan.
にはおま。今週僕は友達とベイジングを行きます。この旅行がたくさん面白いことわざでありました。ベイジングへ行きましょう! I don't know why there were so many interesting comments this week, but I guess I could have foreseen it when I went to the izakaya restaurant with some friends after business strategy class.
Stary perdu! Il a perdu!
When it's not good, use soy sauce with jam.
The next morning, I headed out for Nagoya Airport to go to Beijing with a stopover in Tokyo. This is my boarding pass to Beijing. I'm right now in Nagoya Airport. They took my passport and my alien registration card because they said that I needed a permission to re-enter the country, even though it says multiple entries on my Japanese visa. So that's something that I learned today. Originally, the people at the airport said that if I left, I would have to give them my alien registration card and get a new one when I got back. I had to give them 3,000 yen in order for them to give me a re-entry permit that would allow me to keep my card this once. Anyway, it was a minor hiccup before I got to Tokyo. Since I had 5.5 hours between my landing in Tokyo and my flight to Beijing, I thought I would go see the city for a bit to do some shopping. But there were so many cool stores in the International Lounge that I decided to stay there. Normally I don't wear watches, but I have to learn all the kanji for the numbers, and I keep forgetting, so I got myself a Japanese watch. So then it was time for me to go to Beijing. If you recall, last week I was a little bit sick, and I still have some of the lingering after effects of coughing. As we were coming into Beijing, they said that they would pass out a card where you'd have to tell the Chinese quarantine department whether or not you've been coughing or sneezing or sniffling or anything like that. So naturally I was concerned because I didn't want to be stuck inside the quarantine for at least 24 hours when my trip was only 4 days long. As I was walking towards the quarantine, I had to mentally prepare myself. I said, Seena, don't cough, don't sneeze, don't breathe. Just give them your passport, tell them where you're going, and go through. So I go through the quarantine just fine. But when I got to immigration, the guy looks at me, then he looks at my passport. He looks at me, he looks at my passport. He looks around, and he says to me, in your passport, you look fat. So naturally I burst into tears. I may have lost some weight, but I certainly wasn't fat at the time I took that photo. I stayed at the Fujing Hotel with my friend Eric Turner, another Pepperdine MBA student studying abroad. The next morning there was a lot of smog. When I was talking to my friends from Pepperdine, they said it usually isn't this bad. Still, it was a fascinating city to visit. They had these pictures at the top of this mountain overlooking the Forbidden City that you could take wearing imperial clothes. Eric and I decided it would be a fun idea, so here we are. It was really foggy to the extent that it was hard getting good aerial shots. I tried to convince Eric to dance, but he was shy. Eric, get in there. Oh no! The Forbidden City is a huge complex of different squares in this 2-kilometer stretch of buildings. Inside there were a bunch of throne rooms which were created for different emperors.
A bunch of people here enjoying this historic site. It's a national treasure for China.
How does it compare to yesterday when you came here?
I thought it was crowded yesterday, but I think there's definitely more people here today.
Alright, so I'm in the middle of Tiananmen Square. As you can see, huge expanse of people. It's just amazing how many people are here. I'm totally astounded. Afterward, we went to the Performing Arts Center. And then back to Fujing.
So here we are on Fujing Street, and I just call it the 3rd Street Promenade of China.
Pretty much is.
It's amazing.
We have all these sorts of little stores here. We just need to find the street performers, right? Are there
That's all we need.
Yeah. Bingo! We decided to go back to the hotel and call up Jess Leung and tell her we were in town so that we could have dinner together later with some of the other Pepperdine folks studying here in Beijing. Then we decided to see the CCTV tower, which is supposed to be one of the architectural marvels here in Beijing. You can really see how some parts of Beijing are still developing and how some parts are really advanced with their architecture.
So we're here at CCTV Tower here in Beijing, and we tried to take a cab here, and the guy told us 18, right? And then when we get to the station, or when we get here, he's like, oh yeah, it was 80. And so we're like, no, you said 18. And he was like, no, 80. And then he just started screaming at us in Chinese. So we had to give him 80 because we tried to haggle the price down, but he wouldn't budge.
Lunchtime! Eric, what do you think of the dumpling?
Dumplings are delicious.
And then we went off to the famed silk market, where you need to haggle prices with the local shopkeepers.
I had a funny exchange with the shopkeeper, and the exchange went something like this. Do you want to buy a t-shirt? It's like, no thank you. And she said, why not? I said, I don't need. It's like, you need to buy a t-shirt.
I had a similar exchange. The lady was like, would you like to buy a shirt? I was like, I'm already wearing a shirt. She says, yeah, but your shirt looks cheap. The funniest part was when the woman who wanted to sell me a shirt couldn't get me to buy anything. So she went, why won't you buy a shirt? And proceeded to hit me with one of them.
It was getting pretty close to the time where we would go to dinner, but we decided to take one quick stop at the site of the 2008 Summer Olympics.
Hi everybody, I'm here in Beijing. It's about 10 minutes after 6, and I'm here where the 2008 Summer Olympics took place. Right here we have the water cube. It's really interesting to see this. I love this water cube, it's so cool to watch. And also the bird's nest. This is really cool. You got to see a lot of pictures of this in the Mori Art Museum in Tokyo, which is really cool. But to actually see this structure is just breathtaking.
On to Renmin University. So this is our dinner for tonight with a bunch of people in China. And, Jess, tell us what's in there, please.
We have lotus roots, crispy tofu, spring rolls, and some sort of meatball made with pork, beef, and spinach.
Yes, and it looks very tasty. We decided to go to Helen's for some drinks after dinner. It was nice to see my Pepperdine friends again. I really missed everyone. So afterwards we decided to go for some massages.
We're at this Chinese foot massage place where students get discounts for only 50 kwai, which is about $9 for an hour and a half massage. 45-minute foot, 45-minute full body. It's all clothes massage and it's deep tissue, a lot of pain, but feels good.
我问他做我的女朋友，但是他说他不会。
This is the deal of the century.
The next morning, Eric and I got up early to go to the Great Wall of China. It took us about 2 hours to get there, and I was somewhat surprised at how much we had to haggle down the prices for transportation. Some sections of the wall are dilapidated, but it's still pretty impressive.
Oh my god. I'm attempting to climb down this, and I'm very scared of heights, especially falling from them, so here I go. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, cool. Whoa! So we reached our destination in Seena. When we got here, a nice gentleman asked us,
You want to fly?
what did I get myself into? Ah! Why am I going backwards?
Woohoo! After all that hiking, we finally got a good reward. That evening, we went to the night market for a snack. I was supposed to try something from here, but it smelled so bad, I just couldn't. So instead, Eric and I went to a place where they specialized in Peking duck. Anyway, China was an interesting place. I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to be back here in Japan. ではまた、一会儿见。